We're at the Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to light these up. Mustafa tonight is smoking the Castle Sword.
Got the sword.
The Castle Sword. I introduced it March 24th. Only available here at the Castle. There's a lot to the cigar, so I'm actually going to read this to you. It's a San Andreas wrap with a Palito Cabano inside from Nicaragua tobacco. I have the tobacco for the next 5 years, so I already invested into all that. And the reason why I did that was because I already had a few of my guys smoke it.
Yeah.
And what I do is I always do a test run. Heard great reviews on it. It's a little better than a house stick.
Right.
But the design of it was what it was all about, the sword.
Yeah, you got a nice sword.
I got
right
one
on
right here too. We both, you get maybe Mustafa will get a close up on it.
We'll get a blow up of it.
Yeah, we'll get a blow up. But it's the sword, and I'll tell you what, I had 300 of them.
Yeah.
I think I've got 4 left. I mean, it was a hit because I surrounded it with the Castle. It was part of all my marketing that I wanted to do. The next one's, I have a couple more. It's going to be the Knight, the Jester, the King, the Queen. I have them all in progress right now.
Right.
So, very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, let's light it up.
Let's spark it up.
What were you saying now?
40s, 50s, 60s. You started a new business at almost 60 years old.
Yep.
What were the challenges that you felt just because of your age there? Did you feel any challenges of, hey, I'm 60 years old, should I really be starting a new business? What doubts crept into your mind?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Because I love cigars.
Right.
I knew that being at 60, let's face it, I'm in the 4th quarter, okay? And, I've got all to gain right now.
Right.
Who knows what the future's going to hold. Maybe I might have 5 more of these.
Right.
I might have this. I might have that. I don't know yet. But, in my mind, I'm still 25.
Yeah.
That's good, too. Keep your mind young and fresh and be versatile,
Right.
You got to change. You got to change with the times, and I had to ask a lot of questions.
Right.
I didn't know all this stuff.
I was gonna say, do you feel like a lot of people in your age group are stuck in their ways and too proud to ask
Absolutely,
questions? Yeah.
absolutely. Like I said, that's one of the main things that I see in people that you're afraid to ask. Never be afraid,
Right.
because otherwise, you will say in 10 more years you're going to say, "Geez, I wish I." Well, then
Right.
all those 10 years went by and nothing happened. This lady Angela, through some friends, and I could just tell that she loves cigars. You could tell when someone's really all in with cigars.
Right.
So we were sitting around one night, and she said, "Well, why don't we just open something up?" And I said, "Hey, that sounds great." I said, "Now I've been in business for a long time. I got one question for you. Are you all in? Are you all in?" She goes, "I'm all in." And that's all I needed to hear. Because when you're in business, you have to be all in. You know what they call that?
What's that?
They call that a toolbox.
Okay.
Okay? You got a toolbox now. And everybody in here, you're going to pick something from everybody in here, or anywhere in life, not just here. And you're going to put that in your toolbox.
Right.
And when you need it, you're going to open up your toolbox and you're going to go, I know what to do now.
Right.
Because you got the information.
Right.
I have a lot of business cards here, which was great. And I ran across this one guy. He was a plumber, right? Who doesn't need a plumber? Everybody needs a plumber, right? I love this guy so much. This is what he does. I call him up. I'm at the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And I had a problem with some backup from the whatever, right? He comes over. First time I meet him.
Yeah.
He comes over, and I knew right away that he was a plumber. Like, he's my guy, right? He sticks his hand right down into the pipe, right in there, right? And I went, "I love you, man." I said, "Now you're all in." And just the other day, I talked to a couple other guys. I gave him a number for another gentleman who wanted to do things with him, and I mean, that's what it's all about.
Network.
We help in networking, helping each other out. And,
Yeah.
But I knew he was all in, man.
Yeah,
Like,
he literally went all in.
I said, he's
God.
my guy. Anytime someone goes to me, hey, Rick, do you know a plumber? Got one.
Yeah.
You know, and when I put someone's name out there, they do the right job.
Right.
Like they're not gonna, and I don't take anything from it. I just pass the good stuff on.
Right.
Just pass.
We're going to tell you a beautiful story about how they can change your life and how they can, fix everything that's going on with you and how they can, help you do this better than the next guy. How do you tell those people apart? What are some key signs that you look for personally?
Well, first thing I'll do is, I want to see how long your attention span is. If you got a good attention span, then you're gonna be okay. Like if you're bouncing around and you're not really paying attention and you're just kind of glossing it over, I know right there that it's not really gonna go anywhere. About 2 weeks ago, I had a gentleman come up to me and he wanted to start. I'm not going to say the business, but he wanted to start a business, and I said, "Look, I have a perfect spot for you. I see it already. It's ready to go. We can get you done. I could have you open probably within 2 months. Ready to go. All you got to do is do a couple of things, and you'll turn that key." And then I heard crickets. It was gone.
What are your measurements of success? What do you personally value as success now?
I value the people.
Okay.
I mean, I value my success is the people. Without those people, I wouldn't be successful.
Right.
Sometimes businesses are handed down to their siblings or whatever. They go, "Oh, here's a business. All right, what am I going to do with it now?"
Right.
They don't know what to do with it. And like I said, the people here made me. They just, and then I just take it from there. Without everybody here, from the jewelry business to the cigar business, to anything I do in my life, if I don't have the great people around me, I'm nothing. Right.
This one's from Mary. My husband and I are in business together, and we both love what we do, but we are constantly disagreeing on the way things should be done. How do we see eye to eye more?
That's awesome, isn't it? Business is a marriage.
Okay.
And because, you're in it for the long haul. When you're not seeing eye to eye, you eventually, the way the rules and regulations are in business, eventually you are going to come to terms and say, okay, we need to really do it this way,
right,
because we did it this way, it didn't work, and let's definitely do it this way. Being married and having a business, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, what other better opinion could you have with that?
Exactly.
And you're both building your own future.
Right.
So you're going to go through the goods and the bads, just like anything, like in a marriage.
Right.
Right. But in business, I think it's great.
Yeah.
My wife also runs her own business. It's a separate entity. She's awesome. If I ever went into business with her, of course we're going to argue. There is no doubt. Because I'm going to say, no, we're going to do this. But what we would do is, I don't know how long, this is Mary, I don't know how long you've been in business, but if you've only been in business 3 to 5 years, you got to give a little more time. Just keep working through it.
Right.
Because I think that's the greatest thing.
Yes.
Because if I went into business with my wife, I think it'd be really great. It also would be a great bonding thing, I think, too.
Yeah.
And watch it grow. And again, you're building your own future.
Right. Building the future together.
That's huge. Especially you said you both love it.
Right.
that's
that's a tough one.
If one goes, I don't know, man. I kind of I don't like this anymore. Now you're stuck there going, what do I do?
Yeah.
But you both love it. I loved when I heard that, because that's the key also.
Right.
And then the rest of it will kind of work out.
I like the idea of, and not to get into marriage counseling, but Do you guys talk about it? I mean, do you explain your reasoning why you think this is going to work? Do you actually elaborate on, or are you just like, no, I want to do it this way and that's it? It's like, well, okay. Well, here's a tip for you. Write down why you want to do it this way, and not just like, I want to do it this way because I've seen it work somewhere else. Take a notebook. I have notebooks with me all the time. This is like 50th one, I think. Write down 5 reasons why you think this is a good idea. Present it. Present it like you're presenting it to your business partner.
Absolutely. Being transparent. Don't hold anything back.
Right.
Open book. Mm-hmm. That's how businesses are going to succeed. Again, and I'll say it over and over, I do not know everything.
Right.
I'm work in progress. Mm-hmm. it's work in progress. Mm-hmm. So your business is work in progress. You two are work in progress. Mm-hmm. You're going to make it work.
Right.
Be transparent. Mm-hmm. Be honest with each other.
Right. How
each other feels. Just stay on it and
right.
Stay with the good people. People, believe it or not, I get a lot of great ideas from my internal people here.
Yeah.
They go, hey, Rick, you should try this, or Rick, you should bring this in, or this or that. Your customers are you.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't listen to them and what they like and don't like,
right.
and you just think that you're doing it right all the time,
mm-hmm.
well, then you're wrong.
Right. How long did that take you to learn in business?
It didn't take too long because, you can tell by people, they go, well, then I'm out.
Right, right.
You can tell that they're not really too interested about moving forward. Mm-hmm. You can only go by your growth. Get your place, make sure it's right.
Yep.
Look at your growth. Yeah. Do we look at numbers? Yeah.
Right.
You have to because you're in business. Mm-hmm. But I look at the people, making sure they're happy. The rest will follow.
Right.
The rest follows.
Imagine if that
Castle
CEO
Cigars
walked into that store and saw that employee treat that person that way, fired on the spot. But he can't be there all the time.
No.
He can't do that.
Remember that show, Undercover Boss?
Yes.
I kind of watched that a little bit. I like that. I was like, I'd like to go do that job. That'd be fun, right? That'd be like,
You're too charismatic.
You'd
sell yourself out. They'd be like,
they know I was,
Rick,
I was already on it. But listen, just be yourself in business. You believe in yourself, mm-hmm. That's success enough.
Right.
And then it goes from there.
Right. Let's say I have $20K saved and wanted to invest in stocks. How do you choose a good or a smart investment?
I was never a stock guy. I know a couple of my buddies are, and they're, I know the bell goes off at one time and ends at one time, and that's another job.
Right.
Just my thoughts on it is, okay, you're taking $20,000 and you go here. Mm-hmm. It's a gamble.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. It's
right.
Yeah. Legalized gambling.
On stock.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather take the $20,000 and invest it myself, into myself, into the business, in starting a business.
Right.
Take that $20,000 and put it, because now you're going to see yourself grow.
Yes. Okay.
Because now you put it out there and you're going to say, okay, well, how am I going to get that 20 back?
Right.
And now it's on you.
Okay.
You're not depending on anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets you up in the morning. That's what gets you going,
right.
Get you thinking, get you educated. That's the unknown that a lot of people don't want to take that risk on.
Right. Maybe it's like this. Maybe they don't want to take responsibility if it goes negative. Maybe they have a little bit of that going on, or maybe they're scared. They're a little scared of what could happen. But maybe you should be more fearful of putting your money in someone else's hand and letting them walk away with it and do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Versus put it in your hands. Ball's in your court. What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to... When you go to sleep at night, you got $20,000. You just put it into yourself. You're the stock, right?
I am the stock.
You are the stock.
Yeah.
You get to choose if you're going to... Well, it's 10 o'clock at night. I could go to sleep and wake up at 6, or I could stay up until 11:30, stay up an extra hour and a half, 2 hours. Let me work on something for the business.
There you go.
Now you just invested more into yourself.
That's it. Before I went on my own, I was like, okay, well, I'm working 40, 50 hours for this. I can work the 40, 50 hours for myself. Was it easy in the beginning? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you have to stay diligent. I think we might have talked to this in the first episode real quick, was If you don't know, ask. Get the answers. That's business. Don't white knuckle it. I made a lot of mistakes. There's no doubt I made a ton of mistakes.
Right.
I just try to minimize the mistakes now.
A lot of people out there, they'll say, well, I have 20 grand. I don't know what I would want to do. Well, you're going to find it.
Yep.
What do you do daily? What is something that you spend the most time in throughout the month or throughout the year if it's not during your season, right? What do you love to do? Turn it into a business. When I started smoking cigars, I would choose Connecticut's over Maduros every time because I was afraid Maduros would be too strong. You find that to be the case with new cigar smokers?
Absolutely. You know, the Connecticut wrap is a lighter wrap. You're getting introduced to it. You know, again, you're going to try a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Just work your way up. You know, start with the Connecticut, then go to a medium, then go to a full body.
Right.
You know, try the different ones. You got to start somewhere.
Right. Right.
I started with a Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I was like, oh, geez, I don't know.
Yeah.
Until I kept trying them, and then people in the cigar shop, like here, will guide you along.
Right.
You know, I get a lot of new guys that come in, and I'll ask them. I go, well, do you like rougher stuff, or you know, what kind of guy are you? You know, kind of get an idea.
Right.
And then I'll set you up, and then we start from there. Nothing wrong, you know, starting with Connecticut.
Exactly.
You know, try a medium. If you're going to go a little more Maduro, try a smaller Maduro. Go with the Corona size maybe.
Right.
You know, so you don't have this, you know, I see a lot of, you know, you start out with a 6x60 and you got a Maduro, and all of a sudden you're into it and you go, oh, man, I don't like that. Now you just threw away $15, $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
So start small.
Right. Right.
That's all. Just start small.
Don't do what I did. I started with a lunatic. Don't
Yeah.
do that. Don't do that. I bought the big one too. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, cigars. This is.
Well, I got, look at this.
Look at
I'm
that.
a cigar smoker.
Yeah, we got
this.
no compensation issues here at all. Oh,
And you walked out, you're like this, right? You know?
oh yeah, no, it was a mess.
Yeah. You start slow. And, you know, wherever you're calling in from, wherever, if you're in this area, we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out of state or wherever you are, when you go to the cigar shop, find the right person. Pick out the person who's going to teach you.
Right.
You see a lot of these people, they don't care, just sell you a cigar here, take it, smoke it, see you later.
Yeah.
Find the right person in that shop because they're in there.
They're in there.
They're in there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just got to, you know, Mustafa found out last night. And
Took me a couple of months to really warm up to be able to talk to him, but once I did,
boom, now you got,
boom.
now the world's open, right?
Oh yeah. I learned about a
Because
whole new world.
Because you took the key,
Yes.
you opened the door,
Yep.
and look what you got.
I opened up
Boom.
a mansion
There-
inside. I don't know how I'm going to look through all these rooms.
It's just crazy.
You actually met Kyle a couple of days ago here. He was here at the castle. He asked, the drive you have for success, is it fueled by the desire to achieve greatness or the fear of disappointment?
Yeah, I think fear is definitely a big factor, and I definitely don't want to fail.
Right.
You know, failure, unfortunately, and I'm sure a lot of people who said they were going to start a business, you know, people would say, oh, you're not going to make it, or, you know, they're already kind of downing you down a little bit.
Right.
But if you believe in yourself, you just do it. Fear, yeah, I don't want to fail. No one wants to fail in anything.
Right.
But I do have that drive also.
Yes.
I do have that internal drive. But that internal drive was built
Yes.
over the years because you've seen it grow and you've seen things happen,
Right.
you know, and that's a great drive.
Yes.
Seeing the smiles on people's faces, and just when in your store, when your store is packed, you know you're doing something right.
Right.
It's just it's all not about the numbers.
Right.
Okay, it's when you know that they came here, they're happy, and they left happy.
Right.
Like I was saying last night, the gentleman came in, he was like so happy. I
Yes.
knighted him.
Yeah.
By the time he left, you know, he got a couple of Castle things
Mm-hmm.
and got your card. That's when you know you're doing it right.
Right.
And it came from the inside, not just an act.
Right. Right. You weren't
Okay.
putting on a performance.
No, I'm not. I'm not a performer.
It may look like it sometime, but
might.
this is Rick.
Yeah.
This is really who he is.
Yeah.
100% of the time. We turn off the camera, he's the same person.
Yeah,
There is no difference.
There's no difference. That's being you.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people, they put the show on, and I go, I gotta go. You know, because I respect for what you're doing,
Right.
but you're kind of pushing me a little too hard, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like to be pushed.
Right.
Nobody likes to be pushed.
That's right. My answer to that is 100%. It is the fear of disappointment. My biggest fear is being 65 years old, sitting in a chair somewhere, knowing that I never took a shot, tried to do anything. That's my biggest fear, because I turned 27 last year, and I remember that at 16, I was supposed to have my doctorates in psychology at 27. At 21, I thought I was going to have at least 5 rental properties by 27. At 25, I thought I was going to have my second business up and running by 27. And now I'm 27. And I'm like, this is not going to happen again. The next 27 years are not going to be like this.
Correct.
We're going to change it right now.
We're going to make that step today. We're going to change it today. You know, like I said, you're not going to change the whole world in a day.
Right.
But if you can cut that time down,
Yes.
okay, you cut the time down, you'll have a better life.
Right.
You know, and again, that stock question, put the stock in yourself.
Yes.
I do it every day, every moment, and it's great.
Yes.
And that's why, you know, we decided to do this. He took stock in himself.
Right.
You know, 2 hours last night,
Yeah.
and all the time that you spend here, you know, the people that you meet and the experience of all these people.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
You can't get this. You can't get this in school.
No.
There's no way. I know. I was there. You know, they'll throw you a book, but actually listening from the people who have already really, really been there
Right.
will move you along. That's one thing about businesses. You always have to listen to what people are saying and take that constructive criticism to grow your business. Everybody knows I also own Regency Jewelers, and that's been a pretty solid month too.
Yeah.
You know, I had Mother's Day in there.
Mm.
There were a lot of happy moms out there.
Right.
So, you know, I've been tooling with jewelry for 36 years now, so it's been pretty solid. It's
Absolutely.
been solid. This cigar is what brought us together.
Yes.
You know, this cigar has brought me to thousands of people. You know, whether via cast or in-house or all the other cigar shops.
Right.
I'll tell you, rub elbows with a cigar guy.
Mhm.
You get probably a lot more knowledge than what you really need, you know. But these guys are it's just the greatest entity in the world, I think.
Right.
And I think that since you've been coming in,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, look what's happened so far.
Right.
Pretty awesome.
Like I said, it's better than when I was speaking to Brian that first night that we were talking together. It's better than a business 600 course. It was absolutely amazing. He gave me an hour's worth of anything that I wanted to know, just top to bottom.
Yeah, you know, you're not going to get false information.
Right.
You know, you're going to get it because we want people to grow. We want people to take advantage of what we have going on here. That's what it's all about. Let's talk a little bit about that Instagram. What's been going on with that?
So we actually just hit 100 followers last night. I put up the post for it. So this is going to come out a little bit later in possibly later May. But thank you guys so much for 100 followers on Instagram. I appreciate that. It's been 3 months and we got it up there. You know, we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. What was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were here?
Yep.
Now we're at 100 Instagram followers, which Instagram to YouTube is a very big difference. You know, everybody has a YouTube channel, or everybody has a YouTube that they can log into, or a Google or a Gmail. So they can just click the subscribe button, not think about it again. Instagram is very personable. It's very, you know, intimate contact.
Like I said, thank God he's the techie guy, right? Because this wouldn't be happening. Believe me. We could do some cigars, we could do some jewelry, but he's the man. You know, it's starting to grow pretty nice. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Right.
So, yes.
Kind of getting back to that Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it's more personable and you can really connect with your audience a little bit more. And that's necessary for small businesses to grow. You know, you absolutely need to have that. If you're a small business and are you handing out flyers anymore? Are people
are
reading the
those?
newspapers? Are you sending out like letters in the mail to say, hey, come to my shop? You know, it'll bring it a little bit, but nothing's as powerful as social media is.
No, I don't think so. I remember we'd get postcards from a vendor and have 20 boxes, and I had to use all the zip codes, pick certain zip codes to send them out. It was like almost $1,000 to send out postcards, just the mailing part and not the printing part. And so, yeah, all that stuff, if you're not on it, you're missing the boat.
Yeah.
You really got to get on there. We have the local paper here, Gazette. It's still hanging on. I like to support local, so I will throw an ad in there now and then. But there's no doubt that Instagram and Facebook. I was just tooling through mine just real quick today, and one of the people I went to high school with, they said I need a jeweler to restring my pearls, and 5 or 6 of my people came up who I graduated with and said my name. You got to go to me. Now that was awesome.
Right.
I mean, same like here, if they say you got to go to Castle Cigars,
Right.
you know that you built something great. You're doing great for the people.
Absolutely.
So
and that's that word of mouth. I mean, you've been building your social network, if you will, for 40, 50 years almost.
but don't age me.
No, I gotta.
Take it easy on that, will you? Take it easy. But yeah, it is great.
Right.
When someone throws your name out like that, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
We all have our good days and bad days in business, ups and downs. What I was always told, it's a marathon, not a race.
Right. Right.
So
and that brings us to our next point.
Yeah.
there.
What do we got?
We're going to talk about branding.
Okay. Yeah. Branding. That's a good one.
So, when you came up with the idea, you said you had castles in your head.
Yeah.
You thought
Castles.
Castle Cigars. You know a classic castle from like a cartoon or from a book or anything like that. But what else did you use, or how did it all come about?
Well, I just wanted to make sure people got treated over the top. And that's where I came up with the royalty kind of thing.
Okay.
I wanted to make them feel with the experience of special, that you could, grow instead of just being stagnant. But yeah, castles, royalty, all that stuff came into my head. That was part of the marketing. And then my other buddy there, Dan, the branding part, when he came up with the shield and all the activities that were in it, and what Castles was all about was absolutely awesome. It's like you take Kentucky Fried Chicken, like I saw a commercial on that last week, how the guy started.
Yeah.
And then look at what happened.
Right.
How he branded it. And, all Coca-Cola, all these big places, how they branded their product.
Right.
And
So you had a product to begin with that you believed in.
Yes.
And then you built a brand around that product.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So when people come in, what I do, I show you around, I show you everything that we have going on here. And then also what I do is I'll knight you. I knight you. And it's so funny. I'll take this sword out. I got this sword, right? Yes. And
very dangerous sword.
But I got it under control, so you're safe. But it really made people feel at a place where they can relax.
Right.
I had one, I might have said this before in another podcast, but I had a gentleman come in. I had just opened up on a Sunday. He comes in, he goes, Rick, not only did I come in here to buy cigars, I came in here to get knighted because I was never knighted before. He got down on his knee. It was awesome. I mean, you can't beat that.
Right.
When someone goes out of their way and that's what I wanted people to feel like. I wanted them to feel like, this isn't just some place where where it's all stuffy and all that stuff, But
you got to break that ego as soon as they get here.
Yeah.
Get that out of here.
Right. So the branding, huge. When you start your business, you got to have that branding. What's your plan?
Right.
What's your goal that you're going to do? And so that's how that came up. And same with the jewelry store, Regency Jewelers. We came up with great ideas that shine, because we were always coming up with ideas on how to make jewelry a little bit more exciting for people.
Right.
Instead of just saying, here's a piece of jewelry.
Toolbox.
So the toolbox,
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that one.
Oh, of course I do.
Each information you get a toolbox. You start putting all your information in that. And, 2 months, 3 months down the road, you might say, hey, I remember that, and then the list, right?
Yes. Always keeping a list.
Got
I got a list here.
Here's the list. Big part of business that I learned was a list. I was always against it. People who are successful make lists, whether it be on your personal end, definitely in your business end. I fought that for a while. I tried to keep it all in the Ukraine up here. Forget about it, And then all of a sudden, someone would say to me, hey, Rick, do you remember when? Well, you didn't put it on your list.
Right.
And I go, oh, I got it now. So it's a lot of information today.
I think it's pretty irresponsible now to not be able to make a list every single day because of how easy it is. Like, I started writing my list down on paper now, but before I would just take my phone out at 10 o'clock at night and be like, well, I'm not going to fall asleep yet, so I got to do this tomorrow, this tomorrow, this tomorrow. Type it out. It takes me 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and I have an entire day planned, and I stick to it. I stay on task, and I don't forget anything.
Yeah. Because though you can't get that time back. You can't get that time back. Once you let that day slip away, you can't get it back. There's 8,760 hours in a year. Did you know that?
Now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know.
There's a lot of time. And if you use that time a little more wisely, you'll see the progression and growth a little at a time.
Yeah.
So
It's like what I tell everybody every day. You do 27 push-ups, 27 squats, and 27 sit-ups a day. You did 10,000 in the year.
yeah, I'm not going to do that.
What?
That's not going to happen. But thanks for that input. Maybe one day I'll get on your page with that one, but I don't know about that.
We'll get,
Well, I don't know.
we'll get there. We'll get you
Well,
there.
well, right. We keep doing these. You never know. Maybe I'll put a little gym back here.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something,
You'll
do a
see
little
Rick
Castle
doing power
gym.
bars.
Yeah,
Putting 500 on the squat rack. We'll see him under there.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll be under there.
I'll
I
be
don't know.
gone. Whether you need that information or not, and I think that just comes with experience.
So style will come as you progress, as you keep going.
Yeah, because if from the time I was 18 to 61 now, especially when I used to go to the jewelry shows, there was that was a huge experience there. I'm dealing with 3,500 manufacturers, people from all over the world, and that was the greatest experience that really catapulted me to another level.
Right.
But you can't, like we talked about before, you can't cocoon yourself. You got to get out there.
Yes.
You
Yes.
gotta get out there. You gotta shake some hands. You gotta talk to people.
Right.
Here the networking, unbelievable here. I do a little remodeling. A couple of my guys,
Yeah.
I threw it out to one of the guys last night, and he goes, "I got this.
Done.
He's already got it lined up, ready to go.
Right.
Unbelievable. So I'm gonna do a little. Wait till you see it. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So little things like that. But the networking is you got to get out there and network yourself, like was saying.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's what you're doing.
Yes.
You're getting out there and you're coming out of that cocoon.
Oh yeah. I was I was locked up in that shell. I'm still in there every now and then.
Well,
Yeah.
we all go kind of in there because it's comfy in there, but you got to get out there. It's the best way.
Right.
So
There's only one way to do it.
yeah.
Is to go
So
out.
the style, and then you build into a style, and
Because
then-
you always you're dapper. You're dressed to the nines every single time I see you. Hair slicked back, nice, it's combed, it's groomed. You got a nice suit on, but you rock jeans every now and then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you mix it up. And at the jewelry store, I'm in a suit all day. But I always, it's first impression is your last, and that's why I'm real picky at the store here. Both stores, as soon as you walk in, I want to make sure it's neat, clean, organized. Run your life that way, you'll run your business that way,
Right.
and it becomes very easy. Like both places where I am, it's really not a job. I go there and have a great time.
Because you're loving what you're doing every day.
You gotta love what you do. That's so anybody, we talked about that before in business. If you really love it, do it.
Find your passion, ask the questions, and
Yep.
be all in.
And be all in. You got to be all in. You want to throw your questions in there.
Send them into the DMs on my Instagram. Send them into the Facebook page, Cigars at the Castle Facebook page. Send them into cigarsatthecastle.com, or you can send them in at the comments below here on YouTube or Spotify. Check them out.
That's why he's a techie guy.
can afford.